This week, we move into the middle of April, which typically means that more signs of spring are on the way. The middle of April always also means something else. We are closer to tax day. It seems like every year I have some friends that are in a rush to complete their taxes. In fact, I've heard a statistic that 30% of people wait to submit their taxes until April 15th, the last day to file them. Whether you submit them early or at the last minute in a rush, there is some satisfaction in completing them. In some ways, even though we start the new year in January, tax day brings the last year to completion, and it signals the start of something new. You know, it's a good question. Do we find satisfaction in completing what we started? The Gospel of John that we just heard reaches its climax in Jesus asking Peter 3 times if he loves him. The number 3 is a significant symbolic number in the Scriptures. Think about it. There are 3 persons in the Holy Trinity. Jesus is raised on the 3rd day. Paul regains his sight on the 3rd day. Peter denies Jesus 3 times. And here in the Gospel we just heard, Jesus asks Peter, "Do you love me?" 3 times. The number 3 is a symbol of fullness and completion. It is total and enough. When Peter denied he knew Jesus 3 times, he denied God in his entirety. But Jesus asks him 3 times, and his threefold response means that Peter is completely forgiven. That leads us to the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles. The apostles face persecution and suffering, but they leave their trial rejoicing. Why? Why in suffering? But in that suffering, they witness, and their witness has been found worthy, and thus they have now found completion in their journey to true discipleship. God always completes what he starts. He desires to bring all creation to himself. But do we complete what we start? While we may be good about our taxes and our tasks lists, what about our baptismal commitment? Are we working to bring to completion the good work that was begun in us at the moment of our baptism? How are we called to complete in our lives of holiness and service and mercy and in love? The work of our baptism is not complete until we have finished what we started. Like Peter, we must seek reconciliation along the way. So no matter where we are in life, our work is not complete until we are in right relationship with the Lord. Maybe this week is an opportunity to complete some work that has been sitting around for a while, to follow up on some letters or phone calls that need to be made. Every day, making time to complete our prayers and inviting the Lord into our day and into our lives. When we allow the Lord to work in us and to complete what has been started, we will one day share in the vision that we hear in our second reading from the book of Revelation, when at the completion of all time, those found worthy will worship in heaven.